An alleged sex scandal is dividing the town of Rockland, and now 2 members of town government are off the job temporarily.
I'm going to take a brief voluntary leave of absence from the board.
Deirdre Hall, the vice chair of the Board of Selectmen, complained of inappropriate behavior by town administrator Alan Chaka. She asked the board to investigate, and they decided to place Chaka on paid leave and hire an independent investigator that specializes in discrimination and harassment complaints. Sources told Boston 25 News that the allegations stem from a sexual encounter between Hall and Chaka at Town Hall after hours.
On May 17, 2018, a colleague on this board contacted me with very serious allegations about an employee of this town. As chairman of the Board of Selectmen, I felt I had a responsibility and duty to look into those allegations. A formal investigation being conducted by Discrimination and Harassment Solutions, LLC, has been opened with the support of our town council, John Clifford. One of the great things about living in Rockland is that we live in a small, close-knit community. We all know our neighbors and we all have our friendships. We cannot let these personal relationships interfere with finding the truth. We cannot risk there being a miscarriage of justice because of the involvement of our friends. We cannot let these relationships be leveraged to affect an outcome in this investigation. Given the relationships we all have with the parties involved, I've decided to make a motion tonight to turn over any evidence to the Rockland Police Department to investigate the alleged criminal activities, including evidence tampering and sexual assault allegations by both parties, so that this matter can be investigated and concluded justly, and we can all focus on moving the town of Rockland forward. There's a motion on the floor, gentlemen. No, you may not. I have no confidence in town council at this moment. This is a motion by the chair. You may not. You may not.
You're discussing something that's not on the agenda. That impacts
I can
the rights
discuss
of
what I
people
like.
involved.
I can discuss what I like, Mr. Clifford. Please hold your words. There's a motion on the floor. Does this board support looking into allegations so the public can find out what actually happened? Or does this board want to be part of a cover-up? You tell me.
How are we involved in the cover-up?
How are we not involved if we don't want the police department to take it over?
Isn't it up to the parties involved?
Quite frankly, then, that should have been the very first move that you made.
And I agree.
I
regret.
There you go.
I regret that I did not make that choice earlier.
There you go.
And I apologize to the board for not doing that. And I've seen the light, and that's what I want to do now, because I think we all have some sort of, we'll say, intertwinement in this one way or another. And we could all debate that, whether we want, how we want to debate that or not. This is the only way the townspeople in Rockland are going to get a fair and equitable look at this. And if the board doesn't want to support that, then I want the board to go on record to say that's not what they want. There's a motion on the floor. The press is here. Would you like to say that? That you don't support this? And you don't want support finding out the truth?
You know what we don't support, Ed?
Tell me.
Is you.
Good. You don't have to
So,
support me.
all right, so, you know what I would like to do is make a motion to reorganize the Board of Selectmen.
There's a motion on the floor first.
Okay?
And I haven't done anything yet, so you can reorganize whatever you want. But the motion right now, Larry, if you don't want to support it, that's fine. I'll go on the record that the 3 other members of this board do not want to go through and have it investigated. And I'm standing by my record and my word, and I will not leave this board. You can reorganize the board, but I will be the voice here. And if that is not good enough for people in town, they want to know the truth.
So Ed, what, we did launch an investigation, did we not, into this matter?
No.
We haven't launched?
I did not launch the investigation. Mr. Clifford launched the investigation. And to be quite frank with you, okay, my interview has not continued, and I want to know why other members of this board were not included on that list to be interviewed as males on this board and as males in town hall. You tell me why that hasn't happened.
So I haven't seen a list. I'm assuming that I get a call at some point?
I had asked the investigator, and she flat out told me no. And I don't like the inference of how this is going. I don't like the way this is planted. And personally, I have no confidence in Mr. Clifford with regards to this particular matter. And I'll say that publicly, and I'll say it for the press. I have no confidence in Mr. Clifford, the way he's handled this entire investigation, this entire piece. And I will not be made a scapegoat for the benefit of other parties, whoever they may be. And if the board doesn't want to do that, go on the record that you don't want an investigation.
We already launched an
We have an
We voted
investigation.
for an investigation in that room. We voted to authorize him to
Unanimously.
investigate unanimously. So don't start with that shit.
I'm not
Use my
starting with
language.
any shit.
That's baloney.
It's not
That's
baloney.
baloney. Yes, it is, sir.
Hand it over to
And
the
quite
police department.
frankly, don't you tell us that we're not doing what's good for Rockland. Because we're going to do what's good for Rockland tonight. And that's removing you as chairman of the Board of Selectmen. Whether you stay on the board, it's up to you. I don't care.
I
That's
can stay
your
on the board.
business.
I can
But
stay
you
on
know
the board.
something? This town needs to go forward and end this bull crap that's going on.
And that's
we're
the way
gonna
to do
end
it.
And we're going to end it.
And that's the way to do it.
Well, I know.
Hand it
There
over
you
to
go.
the police.
So there you go.
Hand it over to the police.
That's
I
what
could
you
have went to
should
the
have done in
Attorney General
beginning.
today. I'm trying to give you the benefit of going to the police.
No, see, you made
I
too many
can do
bad
that.
mistakes in the beginning yet. One right after another, one right after another.
We've all
One
made
right-
mistakes, Larry.
That's right, but we didn't make the fatal one. You did.
I didn't make a fatal mistake.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you did.
I didn't make a fatal mistake.
Okay, fine.
I
That's
stand
your
by my
opinion. That's
affidavit.
your opinion. You can
I stand by my
I'm
affidavit.
sorry, Ed.
I
But you
stand
know
by
something?
my affidavit.
Well, I'm asking the board if you want to reorganize.
Well, if there's a motion on the floor, there's no second, then everyone goes on
no,
record,
no,
does
Ed,
not support
Ed,
it.
No, you go on
That's
record
not
and
where we're
say
going on
you
record.
didn't
We are
support it.
already on
That's all.
record for having launched an to have hired Regina
I believe
Ryan.
it's a sham
It's
investigation.
not.
That's
She's-
my opinion.
Well, that's good. You have a good, you have an
She's a
opinion.
prominent,
The rest of us
recognized
have another opinion.
person.
You can all have an opinion.
You do, we
I
got
don't
it.
have a problem with an
So
opinion.
have either parties involved in the situation brought charges forth?
I don't know.
Is
There's
it-
been
is it even-
allegations
is it
out
even-
there. I'll ask our police chief.
Ed, you've been doing the talking. Let me talk for a second.
Go ahead.
Is it even our place to bring forth charges to the police on
It's
behalf
our-
of other parties?
It's our place to go through, okay, and ask if evidence tampering or sexual assault allegations, those are by criminal nature, okay? Those are criminal by nature. Ask the police chief
But-
if those are not criminal allegations.
So I don't know where we have any evidence of evidence tampering or anything. I mean, there's rumors,
allegations
there's
that have been made.
speculation, and I'm under the impression that we just hired an outside source, or we were looking into hiring an outside source to review the video from that
I have
that
no
night.
idea. I was not included in the last conversation on Friday deliberately by Mr. Clifford.
And the rest of us. Because you're involved.
It doesn't matter.
I know, it doesn't matter.
We
It
had a
matters to
vote.
us. It matters to us.
Larry, we had a vote that I would abstain from whether or not, okay, if you must, whether or not, how the board would go through with relation to the tapes. We took a vote that if Mr. Clifford was successful, he would hand the tapes over to the press on Friday. That did not happen. We were successful, and that still did not happen.
Wasn't an injunction filed about the...
The
about
injunction
tapes?
was dismissed.
Yeah, but that was Friday. So,
And
obviously...
Friday, there was a press release.
So
there
do
was
we
a
know
piece
what
coming out,
conversations...
And I was deliberately left out of the email.
So Ed, seeing as you recused yourself last week when we had our
I
conference call.
recused myself from that particular issue.
You recused
That was
yourself
the
from the
issue.
That was the
investigation, from
issue.
this issue going forward. So you recused yourself from the issue. So any information since you recused yourself has not obviously been shared with you as a result of that. So any update from Mr. Clifford has been given to us,
That's
the
right.
remaining 3 members of the board.
What I recused myself from, if we can check the executive minutes, if we want to go this way, was I recused myself from the vote of whether we were going to go through and we were going to fight or not fight the release of the tapes. That's exactly what we did. And the vote, if I recall, which I abstained from, was that we would fight to have the tapes released.
I thought we asked that you recuse yourself.
There you go.
No, you did not.
Yes, we did too.
No, you did not. Check with Mr. Llewellyn. I was very clear, and I checked with him prior. Mr. Llewellyn, who's our interim administrator, was taking the minute notes that night. You ask him. Please, he's here in the room.
You know
We can
something?
do this out here, I don't care.
I've had enough of this, quite
can-
frankly, and the people in the town of Rockland don't need to hear anymore.
I think they
I
do.
wish the board would
I
make
think
a
they
motion to change.
I'll make a motion that will take the chairman, his motion under advisement, where we can discuss it in a more appropriate setting and discuss our options as a board going forward. I'll make that motion. Ed, we're open to any suggestions you have, any suggestions that town council has, any suggestions that Chief Llewellyn has, but to kind of throw this on us and try to set it up and frame it.
It's no
as
different
you
than
will.
me being set up to have a resignment tonight, and you people already figuring out who's going to be chair and vice
There you
chair.
go.
So I
That's
really
right.
don't even
That's
want
right,
to talk
because
about
We have to
that.
decide how the town's
You
going
already
to go
did.
on.
You
How
already
is the
did.
town going to go on?
You already
and
did.
have the
You
people of the
already
town-
did.
town and
You
and
already
admire
did.
us instead of disrespect us.
Oh,
They disrespect us now. Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah,
You
because-
go around town and ask them if they respect us, and they say, no, we don't. And the reason we do is because we have people that can't contain themselves. So you didn't contain yourself. If you were a man in the right thing, you'd step down and
I don't
get out
need
of
to
the
step
room
down.
and end it.
I
So
don't
that
need
we
to
can
step
get
down.
on with the business of the town
I don't
instead
need
of
to step
listening to
down.
bullshit.
This is bullshit.
That is, that's right.
I
You're
don't
the
need to
center of
step
it.
down.
You're
I
the
don't
center
need to
of it
step
right
down.
now.
And I refuse to step down.
Well, good for you,
You
then.
can have a
I say
recall.
we
You can
just
have a recall if that's what you all like to do.
I don't care. That's up to the voters.
That's
Only
up to them.
person I have to worry about is the guy that's the town administrator. He's our charge. He'll be taken care of. You belong to the voters. If they want you, they can
right.
vote for you.
That's right.
Okay, good for that.
That's
But
right.
right now, I think we should change the business here of this town and get on with it. It's up to you board members if you want to tell this guy to step down as chairman or step him down.
I'll make a motion that we'll take Ed's suggestion under advisement to discuss at a more appropriate setting.
Do we have a second of that?
A second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. So we have a 3-1. Okay, let's move right along then. Minutes, item number 2. Open session minutes of May 29,
Make a
2018.
motion. That's all you got to do is make a motion.
Well, you made a motion.
I made a
We have a
motion
motion
that
on
we
the floor.
reorganize.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Can I just ask a quick question, please? Should an item like this be on the agenda?
Yeah, this is where you reorganize. Every time we have a new board gets put in, we reorganize.
We don't have a
We
new
have it
board.
at a meeting.
We don't have
Now
a
I
new
think
board.
we need to reorganize again.
We don't have a new board, Mr. Ryan.
Yes, we do.
We have the same board.
Well, we're
We
short,
can
I'm just asking,
We're short a
anytime
member.
we so desire.
we're short a member.
That's right. We can reorganize anytime we desire. So we have a motion and a second.
Can we just get some opinion from legal
Ask legal
counsel,
counsel.
please?
Candidly, all of this should have been on the agenda. The chair controls the agenda. If he intended to bring something up, he should have put it on the agenda.
Actually,
Reorganize.
Mr. Clifford, the agenda was changed without the benefit of the chair's permission last Friday, when it was extended to 7:30.
It's my belief that reorganization is on the agenda every year after the election. It's an agenda item. The board should not move forward and vote things that aren't on the agenda. We shouldn't be discussing things that aren't on the agenda. So my
I would
recommendation,
ask the town administrator to put that number 1 in the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, moving along. Thank you.
I'm gonna go home.
Go home. Have a good night.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 2. Thank you for the audience for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it.